I'm Nisha Sabharwal, and the name of my movie is Draupadi Unleashed. Well, the movie is based on a book I wrote some years ago, and somehow it just never got published because I didn't have a chance to do it. And a chance meeting with a director who ran the Ringling College production and movie business ended up in me making the movie before I've even published my story. So that's how the movie's come to being. And it's the coming of age of a young girl in a gilded world of 1930s India, aristocratic family with what looks from the outside like everything she has, and yet on the inside she struggles to break free and find her role in a freer world with choice. Well, the book was written in my mind. I literally used to take a pad and paper and start writing. The story was already told. I was just the storyteller. It's strange. I think it was a world I had learnt about through my grandmother, who had lived in Quetta, which was where the movie is placed, and which was a part of India, northwestern India at the time. It's now war-torn Afghanistan. And in Quetta was supposed to be the Casablanca of the East. It was beautiful, and fruit trees were laden with fruit. There were very exotic bazaars, a lot of wealth. And she used to tell me the story of her growing up with the governors and the life that they led. And I think that is where it started. It was shot, most of it in Orlando and in parts of Sarasota, in 1930s bungalows and mansions that resembled the mansions in India at the time. There was a lot of British influence, as you know, at the time. And a lot of the elite lived in homes that were very similar to homes that we shot the movie in. Well, we were looking for a real north-western sort of Indian look, because there was a certain way that they looked. It was very fine-featured and very these were very educated, sort of almost Persian looks. And we decided to do the whole casting in America. So it's all a Southeast Asian cast that have some link to India, either a parent or a grandparent, or somehow they have Indian roots. And Emily Schweber was our casting agent. She was excellent. Went through a ton of people, and I think we found everybody who really, I forget their names now, I call them by their movie names, that's how they fit the roles. I think the challenge is my book was not captured in the movie, which is, I think, every writer's retort and fear. But my book was a 300-page complex saga of many layers of a world and freedom through the many layers, but everything was developed and how the story told. But in a 1 hour, 40-minute story with so many characters, I don't feel everybody reached their real fruition. And also the Swami in my tale had a much bigger, unkinder role in the end in the girl's life, which the director chose to change. That's, I'm told, killing my darlings, right? The thing about The Gilded Cage, as you know, is everything that happens is behind closed doors. And you remember, when she has had, her world is just the inside of the house. She really never gets any freedom. So the cousin that comes over is the first real young man she sets eyes on. So of course it can happen. She's a young girl with raging, whatever, hormones, beautiful. And then there's this beautiful young man who pays her attention. All stories that come out of India, movies mainly, are for the struggle you see in the poor man's life, the slums, the poverty. That's how the West sees India. The West doesn't realize that beyond the Maharaja India, there was a world of elite aristocratic Indians who, many of them went to Oxford and Cambridge to be educated, and led a very sort of almost, really, really privileged life, right alongside, hand in hand with the Maharajas and hand in hand in level with the British. And nobody gets a glimpse of that kind of world of India. Well, today's India is very modern, of course, and this would not happen. Arranged marriages still happen, but in a very different way. You get to know, you get to meet, and in the wealthy families, most of the kids have choice. That India doesn't exist today. It maybe exists more in the middle classes, but not in the wealthy upper classes.